We are live. Good evening, folks. Mobile Geezer here with Mike from Simply Your Device and Will D.
What's
And
going on, everybody?
Friday Night Tech Talk, which we have every Friday. This week is my turn, so let's get started. Okay, I'm learning things as I go, as you can tell.
Hey, yeah, you got the OBS working for you, huh?
Yes, I do.
Good.
And I figured out my problem from last week. You see that video behind me, the city that's kind of moving behind me?
Right.
Last week I had 10 videos loaded in OBS at the same time. That was my problem.
Oh, well, it couldn't handle it, huh?
Right. If I load them one at a time, we're fine, you know. So
Yeah.
I hope everybody's having a good week or had a good week and got through Friday okay and is looking forward to a good weekend. So how was your week, guys?
It's all right.
It seemed like. Hold on, I'm trying. Come on, man.
All right, we'll say your official hello while he's struggling.
What's going on,
There
everybody?
we go. Hi.
Happy Friday.
Okay.
I'm
right,
having all kinds of technical problems.
Mike,
T-Mobile.
I think T-Mobile cursed you today, huh?
Yeah, T-Mobile goes down. Everybody's calling me or trying to reach me somehow. And now my Windows computer laptop insisted on updating. I'm here bumbling around like some rookie here with phones. Like, what button to hit? Damn Bixby button on this one. I hit the Bixby button. Like, no, I don't want that button.
Everybody loves the Bixby button.
Mike, go get a Note 10 so all your things can be on the left.
Yeah.
But you won't have a Bixby button.
Yeah, but if all those things on the left, aren't the Republicans all going to complain about that?
Oh, man. George is warming up.
Oh, man.
George is warming up. Thank you.
Okay. So, are we ready to start our stories?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, we got a ton of them.
Then I guess we'll start this way.
George, you gotta warn me next time. Jesus, my ears.
I'm trying to blow your ears out, brother.
Wow, what the heck? My phone went blank. I'm like, what the heck happened here?
Oh, man.
Okay. Wait, so what did I do first? I pulled up the wrong story first. Okay. All right, today we're going to start with the stupid stuff because there were some really stupid things happening this week. And the main one has to do with, guess what? Popeyes, of all people. Now, Popeye's chicken sandwich has been driving everybody crazy, including on the news.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sharing this story as we go. Check this out, folks. Angry customers pull gun over sold-out Popeye's chicken sandwiches in Southeast Houston. Houston, Texas, an armed group of people rushed the door of a Popeye's chicken restaurant in Southeast Houston Monday night, demanding chicken sandwiches. Houston police were called to the restaurant on Scott Street and Corder just after 9 p.m. Employees told ABC 13 a mob, it's a pretty small mob, of 2 women, 3 men, and a baby were told at the drive-thru that the chicken sandwiches were sold out. But that apparently triggered the would-be customers. That's when police said they tried to get inside the restaurant. One man had a gun, but a restaurant worker was able to lock them out. All the while, the group left the baby inside the vehicle. It was more of an aggravated assault because he was displaying a weapon and threatened employees, said Lieutenant Larry Croson with Houston Police. It seems laughable, but some people who live in the area, along with Popeye's customers, say they don't find anything funny in the incident. He could have shot someone behind the chicken sandwich, said Frederick Taylor. Somebody could have lost their life because they ran out of chicken sandwiches. No injuries were reported, thank God. Police said the man with the gun is being described as having small dreadlocks, tattoos in his face, and was seen wearing a black shirt with red sleeves. The group left in a blue SUV. Police are hoping security cameras captured the incident Anyone with information is asked to contact the Houston police. Now, until I read this story, I didn't think anybody loved chicken any more than me. But obviously, there are people who love chicken way more than I do.
George, I had to cut my hair. I didn't want him to catch me. I couldn't come on the
Yeah.
scene. I couldn't keep my dreads on. Y'all would have knew it was me.
So not only do you love chicken enough to pull out a gun, you love chicken enough to drive from Jersey to Houston.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I actually had this sandwich. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Okay.
Really? You managed to get one?
Yeah, it took a little while. You know,
Okay.
Turnersville, Mike. I had to go. I went there first
Mhm.
after I left the gym, and then they didn't have any. Then I went to Blackwood on Blackwood Clementon Road. They didn't have any. One day when I was getting my kids from church, they had CCD, and I was able to get one in the afternoon. And then after that, they had a video on Twitter like last week. They sold out. They're like out of the sandwiches. Then they
This
had
is
people
all over
showing-
the country.
Yeah, they had a picture of somebody I guess was putting one up for auction on eBay or something. It was,
Okay.
Popeyes was loving this.
It's going to show up on Swappa. Okay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Priced about like a 1+6.
But
You
is
know
it
what I mean?
is it mint condition though?
Yeah.
And how much
Yeah.
RAM? How much RAM does it got?
All right. Well, now the key question here is you're the only one I know that's had this chicken sandwiches. Tell us.
All
Was
right.
it, was
Oh,
it good?
my goodness! Breaking news on this one. Then.
Yeah.
To me, it's better than Chick-fil-A. I guess that was their competitor.
Yeah.
Because to me, Chick-fil-A isn't. I don't know. It's not crispy. Like their chicken isn't. You know what I mean? It's
Kind of dry, I'd say.
Yeah, like this one was kind of like it reminded me of like actual fried chickens. It was all right.
But okay. All right. All right.
It was all right. I would buy it again because
Yeah.
it was cheap. It was only I think $3.99. Like if I know Wendy's, they all had a big thing on Twitter. Wendy's like their chicken sandwich by itself is like $6.
Okay. So better deal, better chicken.
Yeah.
They had to put me a commercial just for those two lines.
Yeah.
Six there Friday night chef talk. You see that?
Yeah. Right.
And Alan said he had the sandwich 2 months ago. I seen that. Alan said we're all late. I didn't even hear about it.
Okay.
And Big Dog is in the room too. And the
Yeah.
super chat is wide open, like George is.
Yeah. So from now, yeah, since I always forget it, I just put it down here. Super chat is wide open whenever I'm running. So, and I did make my 3,000 cents last week. I now have 3,030 subscribers. So
That's what's up, George.
I'm giving away a speaker tomorrow. Pick the winner, and that will go out. And thank to everybody, and I hope you just keep on growing. All right. So next story is who wants it?
It's about the missile, about the AI.
Yeah, you're the one who came up with it, so
Yeah.
you read it. I will.
All right. It's called. They start off with Strange
give me
Love.
give me a chance to
Review.
get the screen share.
Sure.
Come on, come on. Don't be slow like my Windows computer is still on 95%. Okay.
Hey, you're too fast for the old man. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. It's man. Strange Love redone. Redux. I didn't want to pronounce it the wrong way. U.S. experts propose having AI control over nuclear weapons. I saw this, and all of a sudden, I just saw the whole Terminator series.
Well, I said I start with the two stupid stories. Okay.
Yeah. Hypersonic missiles, stealth cruise missiles, and weaponized artificial intelligence have so reduced the amount of time that decision makers in the United States would theoretically. Thank you. Have to respond to a nuclear attack that two military experts say it's time for the new U.S. nuclear command control and communication system. Their solution give artificial intelligence control over the launch button. In the article in War on the Rocks titled, ominously, America needs a dead hand. I don't like the sound of that one. U.S. deterrence expert Adam Lowler and Curtis McGriffin proposed a nuclear command control and communication setup with some eerie similarities to Soviet system reference in the title of their piece. The dead hand was a semi-automated system developed to launch the Soviet Union's nuclear arsenal under certain conditions, including particularly the loss of national leaders who could do it on their own. Given the increased time pressure, Lothar and McGriffin said U.S. nuclear decision makers are under, it may be necessary to develop a system based on artificial intelligence with predetermined response decisions that select, decides, and direct strategic forces with such speed that attack time is compressed. Challenging does not take a place in the United States in a possible position. This is scary stuff. I can't get over that.
Of course it is.
Wow. In the case of handing over the control of nuclear weapons to HAL 9000 sounds risky, the authors also put forward a few other solutions to nuclear time pressure problem, bolster the United States' ability to respond to a nuclear attack after the fact that is ensure so-called sorry, my computer woke up. It got me. I got distracted. And they're like, "Oh, my computer's working." I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait a minute. Come on. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. This.
You want me to continue?
Yeah. Let me. I'm sorry. I want my desktop to work.
Okay. All right.
I hate this.
I'm going to continue at that paragraph. In case handing over the control of nuclear weapons to HAL 9000. Sorry, Dave. I can't do that. Sounds risky. The authors also put forward a few solutions to the nuclear time pressure problem, bolster the United States' ability to respond to a nuclear attack after the fact, that is, ensure a so-called second strike capability, adopt a willingness to preemptively attack other countries based on warnings that they are preparing to attack the United States. I can see where that could go wrong in a hurry. That's Dr. Strangelove. Or destabilize the country's adversaries by fielding nukes near their borders. The idea being that such a move would bring countries to the arms control negotiating table, not if they're wiped out. Still, the authors clearly appear to favor an artificial intelligence-based solution. Nuclear deterrence creates stability and depends on an adversary's perception that it cannot destroy the United States with a surprise attack, prevent a guaranteed retaliatory strike, or prevent the United States from effectively commanding and controlling its nuclear forces therein. That perception begins with an assured ability to detect, decide, and direct a second strike. In this area, the balance is shifting away from the United States. History is replete with instances in which it seems, in retrospect, that nuclear war could have started were it not for some flesh and blood human refusing to begin Armageddon. Perhaps the most famous such hero was Stanislav Petrov, a Soviet lieutenant colonel, who was the officer on duty in charge of the Soviet Union's missile launch detection system when it registered 5 inbound missiles on September 26, 1983. Petrov decided the signal was an error and reported it as a false alarm. It was. Whether an artificial intelligence would have reached the same decision is at least uncertain. One of the risks of incorporating more artificial intelligence into the nuclear command, control, and communication system involves a phenomenon known as automation bias. Studies have shown that people will trust what an automated system is telling them. In one study, pilots who told researchers that they wouldn't trust an automated system that reported an engine fire unless there was corroborating evidence, nonetheless did just that in simulations. Furthermore, they told experimenters that there had in fact been corroborating information when there hadn't. University of Pennsylvania political science professor and Bulletin columnist Michael Horowitz, who researches military innovation, counts automation bias as a strike against building an artificial intelligence-based nuclear command, control, and communication system. A risk in a world of automation bias is that the Petrov of the future doesn't use his judgment, or that there is no Petrov. In other words, no human in there. The algorithms that power artificial intelligence systems are usually trained on huge data sets which simply don't exist when it comes to nuclear weapons launches. There have not been nuclear missile attacks country against country. And so training an algorithm for early warning means that you're relying entirely on simulated data. That's true. There hasn't been a nuclear war yet. I would say based on the state of the art in the development of algorithms, that generates some risk. Yep. Mostly Horowitz thinks the United States wouldn't develop an artificial intelligence-based command, control, and communication system because even if there may be less time to react in this to an attack in this era than in earlier decades, the government is confident in the military second strike capability. As long as you have secure second strike capabilities, you can probably absorb some of these variations in speed because you always have the ability to retaliate. Lothar and McGriffin point out that a second strike means there's already been a first strike somewhere. Anyway, I'm not going to read the entire thing the rest of the way, but notice the picture. That is from Dr. Strangelove. Mm-hmm. And that scenario they just described is exactly what happened in Dr. Strangelove.
It is. That's the scary thing here.
Yep.
It's everything about the movie without the comedy.
Exactly.
Altered Text said he's lost. I'm guessing he didn't follow the story. Basically, what they was trying to do was have the machine determine if they're going to shoot the nuclear missile, right?
Right. The whole point of these two guys' article was they think we'd be better off letting computers decide about a nuclear strike rather than people. In other words, HAL 9000, Dr. Strangelove,
and Terminator. And Terminator.
Yeah. And what's
all
War Games.
Yeah, War Games. Yeah. All the movies you saw are going to come true.
Exactly. That's what, based on what these guys are saying, that's absolutely the case.
I mean, that's what's going on here. That's the scary thing with this.
They want Google Assistant to know when to push the
yeah, I mean, in some way, yeah.
Google Assistant versus Siri. That's going to be the.
Okay. Altered Text said the font is too small. I don't know if you can make that bigger on the screen.
Because he's sharing the screen, so he's looking at it on a phone, so he's really not.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I can change the font size, but next story I'll see if I can. Well, anyway, all of you who think we should turn over our nuclear weapons decisions to a computer, raise your hands. And no, I'm not looking. So I just thought that the Popeye's chicken story was stupid, and I thought this story was almost as stupid.
My brother's in the room. He says, "Are we reviewing war games?"
Yeah, because it's like war games all over again. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I just thought that Mike came up with that story. I came up with the Popeye story. So those are the two dumb stories for the week. All right. So,
but
I'm laughing at Adam.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, Rishi is saying so.
Adam said it can't get much worse.
Yeah, so Rishi, you're absolutely right. It seems like they want to turn our reality into based on sci-fi movies. Mm-hmm. It seems to be exactly where we're going. Okay, so are we ready for the next story? And I stuck this in based on what happened yesterday. We now have a renewed Galaxy Fold. So, Will, you want to take this one since you love the Fold so much?
Oh, no. Hold on, George. Wait a minute.
That's out of order.
What happened to the Google pays the $200 million to settle? I thought that was next.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, we're going to the Google story. You're absolutely right.
All right. Let me know when you got to share, George.
Okay, I'm doing it right now. Okay. And I guess we should have some news music here too, right?
Hold on. You ready? Let me know when you're about to do
it. There you go.
Okay, that one wasn't bad. That other one, bro. right.
Okay, there it is. How to
Google,
change the font? I don't know how to change the font size.
you know what you
What?
can do, George?
Yeah,
Zoom in
Yeah, hit
on
the
your
dots.
page.
Yeah, hit the three. Well, you hit the three dots in the corner on the Chrome browser, and I think there's
You
Zoom.
see it right there, Zoom.
Okay, gotcha. That help at all?
Nah, go back to it, George.
I can't get back to it.
Cause yeah, you made the page too big. You made it full screen.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me get out of it. So, I can't get out of it. Okay. Now is it bigger?
Adam
No,
says
you got to go
Control
back to
and
the
plus.
Zoom. There you go. Yeah, you can do it with that too. Control and the plus button, George.
Okay, and Alter Text says he's on a desktop. He can see it.
Oh, okay.
Now it's a little bigger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, folks.
All right. Google agrees to pay $200 million to settle FTC YouTube investigation, and this is from Gizmodo. The Federal Trade Commission is fining Google between $150 million and $200 million to settle the whole debacle with its subsidiary YouTube, allegedly breaking children's privacy law. Politico first reported Friday. While details about the settlement haven't been officially announced, a person familiar with the matter told Politico the measure gained FTC approval with a 3-2 vote along party lines, seeming to confirm similar reports from the Washington Post last month. After gaining FTC approval, the settlement would go on to the Justice Department for review. Reports of the FTC's investigation into the online video platform originally surfaced in June after several privacy groups claimed YouTube collected data on its youngest viewers without parental consent in an effort to serve them ads. This would violate the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which limits how companies can scrape data from users younger than 13. News of Google's possible settlement comes just weeks after the FTC lobbed a $5 billion fine at Facebook after an investigation found the company compromised millions of users' personal data. Several politicians and privacy advocates criticized this penalty as too lenient, particularly when compared to Facebook's earnings, reportedly $15.08 billion in the first quarter of this year alone. And these critics have similar complaints if this settlement amount gets the commission's official stamp of approval. One of the companies whose complaint about YouTube helped prompt the investigation, the Campaign for Commercial-Free Childhood, described the FTC's purported $200 million fine as terribly inadequate. In a statement from the group's executive director, Josh Golan, they have allowed YouTube to build a children's media empire through illegal means that now no one can compete with, all for the cost of a fine, which is the equivalent of 2 to 3 months of YouTube's ad revenue. They should levy a fine which both levels the playing field and serves as a deterrent to future COPPA violations. This fine would do neither. Golan told Gizmodo via email Friday. While $200 million is massive compared to penalties the commission has previously handed down for similar violations, like the $5.7 million fine it levied earlier this year against TikTok, such an amount is dwarfed by Google's revenue. For reference, last year the company took in well over $100 billion just in advertising. We are encouraged by reports as a result of our advocacy. YouTube will no longer serve manipulative behavioral ads to children. But we await the terms of the final settlement to determine whether these changes will actually be meaningful. It is extremely concerning that YouTube has not removed kids' content from the main YouTube site. That is unclear, and it's unclear how children who watch there will be protected from Google's surveillance. In the wake of these privacy concerns, YouTube quietly announced earlier this week that it's launching a website version of its mobile app geared towards kids. The version will debut with 3 settings allocated for specific age ranges and hopefully won't be plagued by those disturbing videos that previously landed the YouTube Kids app in hot water. Bloomberg also recently reported the company is finalizing plans to stop targeting ads to kids, according to sources familiar with the matter. As to YouTube's recent changes, Golan commented, "We are encouraged by reports that as a result of our advocacy, YouTube will no longer serve manipulative ads to children. But we await the terms of the final settlement." Blah, blah, blah. I read that already. And YouTube has no statement.
Yep. So I guess the pressure seems to be helping with all of these companies, but it's just ongoing stuff. As far as invasion of privacy, as far as targeting kids, it's just on and on and on and on.
It's since we've been doing this live stream, it seems like some social service is constantly in trouble for privacy, for exploiting kids, for how many times YouTube has gotten in trouble because of bad actors. What I mean? Well, that's not even among their police themselves. This is before the government got involved.
Yeah.
In this one, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You start to scratch your head and go, when are they going to get their what together?
But obviously the government's position is obviously these people cannot or will not police themselves. At this point, I have to agree.
How much was the Facebook fine? Didn't Facebook get hit this year with the?
Yeah, I think it was more than Google's.
More than Google's, wasn't it? I thought it was.
Yeah.
And wait a minute.
But Facebook has been caught a lot more than Google and anybody else.
$5 billion. $5 billion. It's in the article. $5 billion that Facebook faced, and you know what though? Facebook just says, ouch, it's going to hurt a little bit, but we'll make it up.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's getting almost numbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's week after week after week after week.
So all of these, they target. They're talking about targeted advertising.
Yeah.
In this article, and it just made me think about like I'm on what was DirecTV now, which is AT&T now for TV, right. And sometimes I don't get regular commercials. Now I'm getting custom commercials. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm getting again another targeting.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So Lord knows what that could go from there.
That's true.
So
true. Anyway, that was our weekly, at this point, almost obligatory privacy story.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on here.
All right. I got a desktop now.
Okay, there you go.
I can read things and see things, and I don't know. I just can't read do what I was doing on the phone. On here, I can do a little bit better.
Okay,
a lot better.
George.
Yeah.
You see in the room the comment from Paul Tech.
Hey, Paul Tech's here. Cool.
And there it goes.
Said
his 4-year-old was watching a kid show on YouTube. Then an ad came for an R-rated movie. Great. Definitely not appropriate ad for kids learning show on YouTube. I agree 100%, Paul.
Paul, was that on YouTube or was that on YouTube Kids? Because
he said he was watching a kids show. Well, he said it was a kids learning show. Paul, let us know if that was on YouTube Kids.
That's why they were saying I think they need to take all the kids stuff off of the regular YouTube so that they don't have no reason to be.
Yeah, I agree.
On this YouTube at all.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say real quick, I see a whole bunch of my brothers here. Thank you for coming. Paul Tech, thank you for stopping in. My Project 13 was here. Nigel, I know you guys.
Jay Will was here earlier.
Jay Will was here.
Oh, okay.
Night Tech was here. Big Dog. I saw Gary Brown here. So Eleanor's here. Mom, I saw Mom.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Paul says I see here. Paul says it was on the YouTube app.
Regularly YouTube app. Okay.
I left already.
I left already. All right. Bye, Adam. But stick around. Keep on dropping comments. That's great.
So this implies Adam doesn't know if he's coming or going, doesn't it?
No. Yeah. Adam, are you staying? Let us know. Drop a comment down there. You sticking around?
Adam, what phone are you using these days?
I think Adam must be using the old Groucho Marx. Hello, I must be going. I cannot say. I can't
Mike,
say. I must
what
be
you
going.
using, Mike?
He's using a Pixel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he got the he was on the beta the whole time. I was talking to him, messaging him. He goes, "Yeah, I got the beta." It's like, you know.
Okay.
So I haven't heard.
Well, he's on Verizon, so he's got RCS and everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
Back to Will's favorite subject.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he says in the comments, he says that's my baby. Wow.
Mike's just lucky to have phone service at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Adam heard what happened.
Mike, could you imagine if you told everybody to switch to T-Mobile and then that happened? They'd want to kill you.
Mm-hmm. I know. Wait till Adam's getting probably a load of this. He's probably saying, I got Android 10, and now it takes forever to call to go through to my wife. Really?
Now I got Android 10 on my Pixel.
Yeah, I don't have no problems.
Better, not worse.
I don't have no problems. Sounds like a Verizon issue. Sounds like you need to move to Visible Wireless.
Yeah.
Oh God!
It's still Verizon service, though.
I was gonna say, isn't that still Verizon?
But it works. But it works good. My calls go right through.
That's true.
Mike is proof of that.
Yeah. Oh God! I saw Ultratech. He said, "I switch 8 people to T-Mobile. I'm in hot order now."
Well, yes, but wasn't the outage in South Jersey, not North Jersey?
No,
it was in New York and New Jersey.
Oh no, it went all the way from Massachusetts down to DC.
Oh, okay.
So probably the worst for T-Mobile to have this outage, because this is the most condensed area, and they have the coverage when it works. I can tell you it works from this area, and this is where like a lot of I feel like their bread and butter's from. And they had their primary area to drop out. It was somebody posted a picture on a map, an area map where it was out, and it was like a big rash.
Okay.
It was not pretty, man.
I wanted to here's Gary's comment to you, Mike.
Yeah, I blame you, Mike. No. I'm going with Alan's comment. I believe him. Everybody who got those free the test drive.
I got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried it for like 10 minutes, and I was like, this is a waste of time.
All right.
Yeah, it was too slow. I said, no.
Here's what Sage Tech has to say. Okay.
Sage Tech said he's happy he left.
Wow.
AT&T, you see that?
I guess I'm happy I live in Tennessee at the moment, because I have T-Mobile and I still love them.
I like this one. I like my brother's comment. Ran out of tacos, so no service. Real nice, Adam.
Okay. No signal.
Real nice. Single service, whatever. But who makes phone calls?
Everybody.
And there is the ultimate comment. That's right.
Everybody will forget about it on Tuesday when they get their free pizza coupon, free hat.
10 cents off of gas.
Whatever they give you, everybody will forget all about the problems.
Time out.
Wait a minute. He's going to get his hat.
The umbrella.
Get my hat, brother.
You get your hat.
Right.
There we go. I was going to wear mine, but I was too embarrassed. Okay, I got the shirt on. Okay.
You don't wear your hat the day there's been an outage in your area, right?
No.
Oh man. Shit, I was too embarrassed.
All right, wait. Now I got my hat all crooked. Okay, that's better.
Oh, wait, we didn't even put the big story in there, Mike. What'd you think of that?
Which one? There
what
was
did
a lot.
You think of that with T-Mobile or Metro selling the used phones or something?
Oh yeah. I caught.
I haven't even heard of it.
Hey, wait a minute! Don't forget. I don't think they have corporate stores for Metro. I think they're all franchise.
I don't know, but that was crazy.
That was pretty pretty gutsy, I say.
Yeah.
I see George's green screen. Yes, his green screen. He got it to work. Rob, he had too many videos running at the same time, so his OBS couldn't handle it.
Last week, OBS had 10 videos all loaded in OBS at the same time. That was the problem. I found when I put one video in there at a time, it works great.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, are we ready for our next story?
Yeah, I'll try the next one here.
All right.
I was gonna ask you guys. I mean, the Galaxy Fold.
All right.
Wow.
I ordered mine.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Nah,
Right,
Don't lie.
let me get my screen share ready.
I got 2 orders.
Here we go with our next story. Okay,
Gary is crazy.
there you go.
T-Mobile sounds like the pizza, like giving them cookies and they want. That's good. Revamped Galaxy Fold fixes past mistakes. What's new in Samsung's foldable phone? Samsung made major improvements to the design of its foldable phone after the Fold suffered screen breakage that delayed its sale.
Okay, hold on 1 minute, Mike. Now, folks, you see the lady that's in the video down here on the right?
Yeah.
She's the one who wrote the story, and if you go to the story on CNET, you can see her video, and that's pretty good. And she also, I had watched her video of the original Fold back in April, so she knows what she's talking about, and they're pretty much all saying the same thing. All right, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No problem. The Galaxy Fold is back and better than ever. Wow, that's pretty strong opening there.
That is true. How could it be worse?
Well, let's see first. After design flaws began causing reviewers' phones screens to break, Samsung postponed the Fold's release date and went back to the drawing board to fix problems. Now a new improved Galaxy Fold will go on sale in September, starting in Korea and branching out through Asia, Europe, before heading to the U.S., where what we know about the pre-order the fixed Fold. Wasn't there somebody we were doing where everything was with the letter Q in it, wasn't it? This should be one of those articles. Everything should have like it started with playing with the letter F or Fold.
That was wasn't that what's his name? Jerry?
No,
Jerry.
No, I think that was an Android Authority article.
Anyway,
I thought it was. Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I just have like the fixed Fold. I'm like, I got a chance to go hands-on with the redesigned model, which Samsung said will avoid incurring the kind of damage that caused some of the reviewers' screens to break. CNET's review unit never broke, but the screen did have substantial scratches. Samsung fixes correct these Galaxy Fold earlier problems, but also made a shift in the phone's maker's strategy for selling the device. The $1,980 Fold was supposed to be the smash hit at securing Samsung's place as an innovator. Earlier adopters would clamor for it. It would become the ultimate symbol of status and luxury. But now these changes represent Samsung's mistake, and the company seems less enthusiastic that the Fold will sell. That's another bold statement there.
Yeah.
The new design looks mostly the same as before, with subtle changes to make it harder to damage the Fold's delicate plastic screen. For example, the Samsung has completely removed the question of whether the protective layer on top original design was an optional screen protector or an essential part of the display's integrity, which actually the latter, as some reviewers learned the hard way earlier this year. Unfolding the Fold, there's a mouthful there, also feels different. Smoother, perhaps sturdier. I always loved opening it and closing the original design during the time with the phone. The sensation of resistance as you closed the screen and felt the magnetic slide snap shut.
And they all said that originally too.
Right. Now it feels more complete somehow. It's hard to say why exactly with the original Galaxy Fold so far in the rearview mirror and just a memory for comparison before this week. The last time I held a Fold was in mid-April, where every way the Galaxy Fold has changed. No visible screen protector. If you peel it off, immediately makes the Fold screen unusable. Now this polymer layer extends beneath the plastic bezel, and it's there, but you can't see it, and that's how it should be. Screen caps at the end of the phone. The new T-shaped plastic caps plug up air gaps that existed before you fold the phone screen. This is a slack that creates as part of a kinetic process. I tried jamming my fingernail around this part and see if I could create an opening, but it wasn't able to. That's reassuring. The reinforcing screen. The previous Galaxy Fold design had a layer of metal supporting a cushiony layer that when the top portion of the display, cushiony layer, and then the top portion of the display. Samsung said it caused the screen crease that runs down the phone center to look more prominent. Now it has reinforced the screen by laying a second layer of metal on top of the cushion. We'll see if that reduces the crease appearance and also keeps the damage by pressing too hard on display at bay. Now, real quick, I saw Michael Fisher's video on it, and he made a comment. You can still see a crease in it.
Right.
It's never going to go away.
Get rid of that.
Yeah,
You'll never get rid of it.
Even in her video, you can see it, but it certainly seems much less visible than it was before.
So when you open it up, you're suggesting that you really don't see a defined crease in it.
Well, you see a crease, but before you could see it really bad, and now it seems much softer, I would say.
Mm-hmm. No more Astro Blue or Martian Green color.
Yep.
The blue and green colors really took the Fold over the top. But Samsung told us that it's only selling the Fold in silver and black now. It's a shame. I'm not really surprised. Samsung might be prepared for fewer sales as a result of waning enthusiasm and therefore keeping its production counts in check. Anyone in Korea buys the Galaxy Fold will get the 5G version by default, but the opposite is true in the US. It's 4G only for that market. Samsung said that 5G version will come in select countries naturally at higher cost than the 4G model if the two are sold side by side. That includes the UK, where the Galaxy Fold 5G will be available from EE on September 18th. And immediately I thought of Nigel just now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to look at the comment. Nigel, are you getting one?
Exactly.
No, he's not buying that. He wants the Huawei one.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nigel bought this.
Anyway, stay tuned for more photos and hands-on video that shows shows you exactly what's new and different in the second coming of the Galaxy Fold. Meanwhile, read about how Samsung's next foldable phone could be shaped like a square.
Okay. So like I said, folks, if you watch her video, that showed up in this article before, she did a pretty good video on it. And interestingly, in her video, in her hands-on video, you could see Michael Fisher in the back, and you could see Jaime Rivera in the back.
Yeah, they went to a room.
Yeah,
they only had it for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, they were all in the same room. Yeah. Anyway, so the Fold is back for anybody who wants to spend $1,980. Feel free,
And anybody in Canada, they're not getting it. I read
Okay, and we're only getting the 4G version. Well,
4G version. Yeah.
spoiled Nigel gets the 5G version.
Of course, Nigel gets all the good stuff.
Exactly.
He gets 5G. That's amazing. They by default
Here goes
the
Mike.
5G. The 5G version is over in Korea.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that speaks. Sounds like they must be getting kind of ready. They're almost ready. They're willing to.
Well,
Samsung's willing to put the money out, or put the sales.
Well, what is
try
the
and sell
largest
it there.
corporation in South Korea? Oh, yes, Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, no, Will, I'm not gonna get on my pony about 5G today, unless there's an article I didn't see yet. Okay.
There's Nigel's answer.
No way, the Galaxy Fold guys. I'm definitely interested in. Oh, okay.
So he's still a Huawei guy.
Yeah, he's getting that Huawei one.
Oh yeah, you can count on that.
Oh, okay? I gotta check that out.
But he does love his OnePlus 7 Pro 5G. So, and I can tell you, it took some awesome pictures. All right, are we moving on?
See, I got confused over this. Then this next article about Samsung canceling the Fold's pre-orders. That was today. I thought I saw that.
It was today, wasn't it?
It was today. They mentioned it.
They
Okay.
canceled. Well, they canceled all the orders.
Yeah, let's go to the article.
All right, I got it, George. Let me know when you got it pulled up.
Let me get it shared here. Okay. Okay, there we go.
All right. It's from The Verge. Samsung is canceling all Galaxy Fold pre-orders so it can, quote unquote, rethink the entire customer experience.
Yep.
Customers will get a $250 Samsung store credit as a consolation.
Okay.
Samsung may have finally fixed the Samsung Galaxy Fold and confirmed new release dates for the foldable phone, but everybody who pre-ordered the phone earlier this year may still be out of luck. Samsung is emailing customers to cancel all pre-orders while it rethinks the entire customer experience surrounding the sale of the phone, as seen in a tweet from YouTuber M. Brandon Lee and others. A Samsung representative confirmed that the company is canceling all extant Galaxy pre-orders placed through online through Samsung. It's a strange move given that Samsung is so close to releasing the fixed phone. As a consolation prize, Samsung is offering customers a $250 credit for the Samsung store, but it's likely a disappointment for anyone who had been holding out for the actual foldable phone. Then they got the tweet here from
Brandon Lee.
Lee. Per Samsung's email, the canceled pre-orders are due to the company looking to ensure that you have the best possible experience with this revolutionary new technology. And it notes that the company is rethinking the entire process, including purchasing, unboxing, and service.
Yeah, I thought you will. I thought you will. They kept on canceling your order.
Yeah, right. Although it doesn't offer details. A Samsung representative also highlighted the recently announced Galaxy Fold Premier service that Samsung will be offering for the Fold, presumably part of the new sales process, and promised more details closer to launch. Samsung has yet to reopen actual pre-orders for the updated fixed Galaxy Fold. There's just a reservation line, so anyone with a standing pre-order at this point is someone who pre-ordered the phone back in April and then specifically requested that Samsung not cancel their order when the company delayed the phone in May. The new Galaxy Fold will be available on September 6th in Korea, September 18th in France, Germany, Singapore, and the UK, and in the coming weeks in the US, rumored to be the 27th.
Okay. So if you want a Fold, you got to start all over again.
Yep. Hey, I'm going to hop out real quick. This phone's dying.
Okay.
I'm going to be on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm going to go on my desktop.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm going to remove you. When I see you come back, I'll put you back in. All right. Well, it's you and I for the moment.
Yeah. So you ordering your fold, George?
I
You order your fold?
I ordered my Axon 10 Pro. That's as far as
Oh
I'm
wait,
going.
now you gotta let Mike know about that one because Mike
Uh-oh.
was the biggest fan of the Axon 7.
Yeah, and so was I. I still have my Axon 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Axon 10.
All right. So I guess we should skip this rise and fall of the headphone jack story because Mike's back. Okay.
I'm back. Hello.
All right. So that was quick. All right. The next story, you're the one who put the rise and fall of the headphone jack story in, right? Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, all I did was I shared it to the group.
Yeah. So I assume you want to talk about the whole headphone jack.
Well, I just wanted. It was an interesting video talking about how one company took it out, and there seemed to be sediment. There seemed to be. Hold on, let me get it center.
Mike, didn't Motorola do it first?
No, I thought Apple. No, Apple did it.
Apple did it.
I thought Motorola did it first.
No, they were not first. Apple.
I thought Motorola did it first, and then it made news when Apple did it.
So it just shows you that Will's getting older too. You know.
But now I gotta Google it and see.
Yeah, we gotta find out because I swore it was Motorola did it with one of their phones.
No matter how it comes out at my age, nobody expects you to remember anything anyway, so I'm good.
Let's see.
It's all going to get blamed on Apple anyway.
Who was the first one to remove the headphone jack?
What's a headphone jack?
Yeah. Who was the first one to remove?
Well, this has turned into a very heady conversation. All right. And who's getting the answer here?
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. We got all kinds.
2017. It says Motorola removed the headphone jack, right? I just Googled it. Let me see.
You're Googling it. Mike's Googling it. Who wins?
I'm looking.
Well, a well-known Chinese manufacturer, Oppo, released a phone called the Oppo Finder.
You know
in
what?
2012 without a headphone jack.
Oppo, I believe, was
right. Nope. Here we go. Right. Well, I don't know about them, but here we go. Right here. BGR. Motorola killed the headphone jack and nobody noticed.
Right.
Told you they did it first. 2016.
No, wait, no, I got it right here. It was 2012.
Oppo was first.
What? I'm talking about Apple and not Oppo. I'm talking about between Apple and
first, and
Motorola.
I remember they removed it from the Find X before anybody.
Even Adam agrees. It's 2012.
Okay, well they moved it in 2012, but between Motorola and Apple, who removed it first? It was Motorola, wasn't it?
No.
I'm telling you, Mike, it was.
Send me the link. Where are you getting this information from? Okay. You're just trying to set me up.
Wait, I'm looking. Hold on.
You're just trying to set me up. Okay.
But it does. See, Mike, he can't. First.
Mike, here goes an article right here from 2016. Mike, listen. Mike, 2016.
Right, but since somebody did it before that, Apple, you don't want to hear it, right?
Because we were talking about Motorola. My whole argument was Motorola. I said Motorola removed it. George, who knows what brand did you say?
Oppo.
Who knows that brand here besides us? Go ask somebody at your job who Oppo is.
Right. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Oh, and by the way, China is a much bigger market than the U.S.
Look what Six said in the room. Told you. Highlight it, George. I was right.
Apple and
I was right.
Moto did it first.
Well,
told you.
But they weren't Apple. He said between Apple and Moto. Moto did it first.
Exactly.
How did it did it first?
I told you they removed it on like a Moto Z or something.
Moto did it before Apple did it.
They did. What
we're saying is Oppo did it before anybody.
Yeah, but nobody here. I can go to work and ask 30 people at my job. None of them know who Oppo is.
And those 30 people at your job would be infinitesimal to the number of people in China. That's the point.
You asked the question, but who was first?
between Moto and Apple. That's what we were discussing.
How do you
We
make
weren't talking about Apple.
Moto and Apple?
Mike, in that video you got on there, who do they talk about?
What video is it?
Apple and who
Yeah.
else?
They talk about Apple.
And who else? Oppo?
No, I don't know.
Okay, that's my point.
That's
my point.
You know what your problem, Will, is?
That's George. The point was Motorola and Apple. We weren't talking about Oppo. We could have talked about Samsung.
Your problem goes back months.
It goes back to
every time we bring up the U.S., you act like the U.S. is the big market in the world, the only one that counts. The U.S. is the third largest market in the world.
George, listen.
You try to ignore
Hold on. Let me ask Mike. Mike, if Oppo removed the headphone jack, right? Mike?
If Oppo removed the headphone jack, yeah.
The headphone jack in 2012, and you didn't have an Oppo phone, did you care?
No, I didn't take no. But
it didn't affect you until 2016 when Motorola did it, and then Apple did it. So Apple doesn't matter.
If you have a Motorola or an Apple phone, and you had some other Android phone, you didn't care either.
I'm getting information here.
Who removed the headphone jack first was Apple. It didn't matter until Apple did it.
Wait a minute. Most of the posturing
from the United States, you're right. But the United States is not the be-all and end-all of the phone world.
I'm here. I'm not in China. So they can remove
you're not in China, all those phone sales don't count and they mean nothing, right?
No, but they can remove their headphone jack, but it doesn't affect me until Motorola did it here, or Apple did it
in the world,
or Samsung.
That's like if somebody nuked some other country. As long as it didn't affect you, you'd be fine with it. That's what it sounds like.
We're talking about a headphone jack.
All I'm saying is you act like anybody. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. Everybody else, screw them. That's your attitude to screw every other country. It doesn't affect me. That's always your attitude. And I'm the old guy here, which it should be my attitude, but that's your attitude. You know,
that's Mike.
I mean,
I thought the question was who was the first one?
Will you
was the first one? That's what it was. I thought that's what it was.
That if the rest of the world dropped dead tomorrow, you could care less as long as it didn't affect you in the U.S. That's the impression you give.
Mike, when Oppo removed the headphone jack in 2012, did you know?
No, because I wasn't into phones at the time.
Exactly.
If you weren't into phones, would you have cared? Because did you have an Oppo phone?
No, because I was being force-fed from Verizon.
When did it become important to you?
Gary Brown's too funny.
when Apple and Samsung and Motorola did it. That's when
send me send me the link somehow. Send me the actual link to that so I can put it in the room. I can share it. That post there. I get what you're saying, Will. I get what you're saying.
To you.
I get what George is saying.
In China, they might have a whole.
I don't know that you get what I'm saying.
They might not have had
Wait a minute. Now look what Adam wrote. Look what Adam wrote.
In the U.S., he wouldn't care, and I resent that whole attitude.
They might have, George, in China, they might have 1,000 phones over there with no headphone jack. But it didn't matter because we still had a headphone jack, right?
But why do you say it didn't matter? Because they don't matter because they're some other place else.
George, we're here.
We're here. Nobody else matters. That's what you say.
That's what they talk about in that story, Mike. Did they say Oppo with the headphone jack in 2012?
I got to go back and see, but I bet
they don't say that. They show you. I'm
going to write to the writer and ask him to put Oppo in.
Then they show you Samsung. Then they show you.
Adam posted here. According to Wikipedia, the HTC Dream was the first Android phone that didn't have a headphone jack.
Okay.
Now that's an American phone.
It is, but
okay.
Did you buy an HTC Dream?
No, I force fed to buy a Motorola
wait,
phone.
Wait, Mike, listen. You didn't buy an HTC Dream, right?
Mhm.
The HTC Dream removed the headphone jack, but Motorola, Apple, Samsung, LG, all the companies here kept putting it, right? They kept putting a headphone jack. So
right.
you didn't care what HTC was doing with their headphone jack, right?
Right.
It's the same thing with Apple. It doesn't matter because we still had it. Once Apple and Motorola did it and Samsung did it, now it's a thing. That's all I'm saying, George. It doesn't.
It's a thing where
it's a thing now. It's a thing here where it affects me.
Here.
I'm not living in China.
My
Are
problem,
you living in China, George?
Wasn't the dream? Was the dream here?
Nobody else in the world counts as anything.
Was the dream? Wasn't the HTC Dream here?
Yes, it
I'm
was.
not if China has a headphone jack because I don't live in China. I don't live there.
To me, that's almost the same as saying, I don't care if all the children in China have dropped dead from starving because I don't live there. It sounds the same. It sounds like the same kind of thinking to me.
We're talking about a phone.
It sounds like the same kind of thinking to me.
It's different. We're talking about
all the kids in the world die. As long as they're not dying here, that's fine with me.
Sure. We're talking about a phone versus a headphone jack.
I'm just saying your attitude is so.
You can't compare a headphone jack or
it's like the rest of the world is below you because you're in America,
or a flat screen versus a headphone jack. You can't. That's two different parts of the world. If they didn't use a headphone jack over there for 10 years or a cassette tape, am I going to be like, oh man, I'm really upset that China doesn't have a cassette?
He will. His 6 is coming. He likes this. Okay?
It didn't matter until it happened here. That's when you took notice.
To who?
George, when Apple removed the headphone jack in 2012, did you care?
No.
Okay.
Did I care about phones at all in 2012? No.
If they removed the head, yeah, but they were obviously ahead of us, but you didn't care because
I don't know they were ahead of us as far as the headphone jack. Okay.
Yeah, they removed it in 2012.
All I'm just saying is your whole attitude week after week seems we're above everybody else.
Oh, here
it
it
has
is.
nothing to do with us being above everybody else. It's that's like saying I'm going to worry about.
There's Gary's comment, and he's absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm calling with.
If I'm not buying an Apple phone from China, why do I care if the phone has a headphone jack?
No, you're right about that. You're right about that, but you act like it doesn't count because it didn't happen.
I didn't say it doesn't count, but I said when Mike was talking about the story.
And Gary's right. You have a very elitist attitude.
Motorola or Apple. Apple removed
it. Us old folks who have this attitude.
It didn't matter until Apple did it. Then it was a problem.
Okay.
And now it's a bigger problem because Samsung just did it.
Well, it's a bigger problem because a lot of people are doing it. OnePlus did it. Samsung did it. Who else was doing it? Huawei, did they do it?
I went back to watch part of it. And the whole point is that we're talking about one company that decided to ditch the headphone jack.
Right.
All right. Which is partly is because they're the biggest phone tech manufacturer in the world. Are they not, Will? Right?
Who?
Apple.
No, Apple is not.
Well, at the time, I'm talking at the time, and I'm also talking about influence. I'm talking about influence too.
In the United States, Apple is.
There you go.
I'm just saying. No, what I'm just saying is influence, and their phones are released around the world.
Right.
And then Samsung, for the last how many years, have poked fun at one of those key things.
And so has OnePlus.
And
before they did it.
Well, they made little tweaks. Nothing like
no. OnePlus made a lot of fun of Apple when they did it,
but not TV commercials.
I'm
getting that's where it speaks the most. Not making little funny things on Twitter. I'm talking about actually mocking them because they took out the headphone jack and showing the dongles and showing that you need a dongle and all that stuff.
Yeah, and OnePlus.
Okay, we gotta you gotta take it out of you gotta take it in the context of the regular consumer, United States or not.
Yeah, Munchie, you're right. And
Well,
they use that.
Right. Okay. So here goes this year. What spurred probably this video on is because of Samsung taking out the headphone jack in their one of their biggest flagships around.
Yeah.
And that's where the conversation starts.
And even in that video, and Will, this is where you're right. In that video, he blames Apple more than anybody else. You know,
because that's when it got turned into a thing. I remember when Motorola did it, it was like silent. Nobody really, people were like, "Oh, Motorola doesn't have a headphone jack." And then when Apple did it, it was like the end of the world.
You're right again. What Gary is saying, and you're right. In the United States, that's true. You know.
But I hear you two guys talk about the United States and all that stuff. But still, I would love to know what it was like in 2013. I'm moving it up a year. What it was like for a company like Oppo, which I guess was
until about 4 years ago.
Right. How did that affect that company? What was that like?
Well, it didn't hurt them because Oppo has grown to be like the third largest manufacturer in China.
Right. I mean, Oppo's one of the companies that's trying to push to have no buttons on the damn phone.
But Mike, you know what? Maybe over there, they probably were already on Bluetooth or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, no.
He may be right. He may be right.
But the video does talk about exactly. I heard that. I'm like, oh my God, my son must have saw this before. I'm saying, I'm about to say, my son said it isn't fair that you're being made to buy an additional accessory.
Yes. Because
now these phones don't have the dongles. These phones don't have maybe a headset, or gives you a headset that only works in that phone. It's very, they put you in certain situations that don't make it so easy, where you pick up the phone, get a regular, in our case in the States, go down to the $5 store and get a $5 headset. You know what I mean?
Right.
It makes you have to spend the extra money.
And I agree with that. The fact that they refused to put a dongle in the last one.
In the keynote on the note just passed, they didn't even mention about it. They absolutely pretended that was.
I got like a different view, I guess, with the headphone jack than y'all.
There's Munchies come in.
I care about it a lot. I don't really care about the headphones. I really don't.
His final comment there is kind of right. OnePlus has become the Oppo of the U.S. That's true, because they're both owned by the same company.
Munchie loves OnePlus.
So do I.
Munchie really hates them. He don't like them at all.
No, I like OnePlus a lot.
You see what? Bad News Brown, don't say that. George's gonna get mad at you.
Well, George getting mad at you doesn't hurt anything.
He's gonna get mad at you because you're minimizing their company. But,
my Project 13, I saw that. Will,
but I don't know.
That's a good one.
I mean, the headphone jack is, it's important to Mike, I guess, and Mike likes it. A lot of people like it, but for me, I'm like, whatever. They can get rid of it. I mean, at some point, it's all got to go. That's like, Mike, if you go to the store now and buy a car, probably won't have a CD player in it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean?
Well, that was quietly removed. But
they've been taking them out for a minute.
But on the other hand, see, that wasn't so obtrusive, I think, versus
but why? Okay, jack. But Mike, why don't you? Okay, but why don't you think that wouldn't be something where people would be upset? Because if you don't pay for a streaming service, how are you going to get your music? You know what I mean? What if you don't?
You download it to your phone.
What if you don't have a smartphone?
Yeah, well, Mike, if you're going to download it to your phone, didn't you have to stream it to get it there in the first place?
What if you don't have a smartphone? Well, it's the same kind of thing. But
a dumb phone can get downloads too.
What? No, it can't. Not a flip phone.
Yeah, people at my job, I've seen flip phones with the SD cards.
They can't download it, and then you can't put the SD card in the thing.
What do you mean? I've seen people.
If you got a flip phone, how are you putting enough music on it to be happy?
Yeah, you probably get about 12 songs.
Yeah.
On an SD card. Yeah.
At some point, man, the tech's gotta just keep going. Like, LG's going to hold on to the headphone jack, I guess, a little longer. And Google will put it on their 3A or whatever other devices, you know. People move to USB. I'm still living in the 80s.
And don't get the wrong impression, people. Just because I may disagree with Bill doesn't mean I love him any less.
George, but our disagreement...
And I mean that. I'm not kidding.
George, the disagreement don't even make sense, though. It doesn't make sense.
To me, you have somewhat of an elitist attitude, and it shows week after week after week.
George, that's we'll never agree on this.
Okay, okay. You think the United States is the be all and end all? I don't.
No, George, I didn't say that. All I'm telling
you say it almost
George,
every week.
George,
Will,
we're talking about a headphone because why am I going to worry if China doesn't have a headphone jack if I can still get it here? I'm not moving to China.
If I hadn't heard you say last week and the week before and the week before that.
When I wake up and I say, "Oh, I want to listen to music," and if my phone has a headphone jack, I'm not gonna look at my phone and be like, "Man, China doesn't have a headphone jack. My day is ruined." I still have it, so why would I be upset about it? Once mine is gone, then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, it's a problem."
I can see why you wouldn't be upset about it. That makes perfect sense.
When China didn't have a headphone jack in 2012, it didn't matter over here. Nobody cared.
Okay.
Nobody cared unless you were reading in the paper and you had stock in the headphone jacks in China or whatever. You know what I mean? You were trying to predict what was coming.
Okay, you got a point there. I'll give you that.
It didn't matter. And it still didn't matter. Even when Motorola did it here, nobody cared until Apple did it. Then it became a thing.
But because it's Apple.
Here's Munchie agreeing with your son, Mike.
They're forcing me to buy headphones.
The wireless headphones is by killing that jack. It's just being greedy. Yeah, that's how my son pretty much put it.
Yeah.
So I mean, how much is it gain? How much room is it gaining?
We know it ain't about them gaining room. It's not about them gaining room. It's about making money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about Will's right. It's all about the money. That's what it's about. You know that.
You know, what was it when Samsung had it with the S8? I think they still had it with the S8, S9. And everybody was like, "Oh, if you have the headphone jack, the water resistance is going to be bad. Or if you have an SD card, the water resistance is going to be another spot for it." They just make excuses because when they're ready to put out their wireless earbuds or whatever, look at OnePlus. They did the same thing. They started pushing those Bullets wireless.
That's right. Right. And they started pushing them just before they took away the headphone jack. That's true.
And I think the Bullets wireless, did they come out with the 6?
Yes.
Because when they came out with the 6,
Gary Brown.
I'm
sorry, man.
They came out with the 6. The Bullets wireless were like impossible to get. So I think they waited before they completely, got rid of it.
I'm not going to politics. So.
Race relations, yeah. And chicken sandwiches, Gary Brown.
Yeah.
Here's Nigel's question to you, Will.
What? Am I about? Nah, I'm not. Nope. I don't think Apple's gonna do that, but I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah,
well, you know what? I don't know. It depends, but I don't think they're gonna do it.
Now, see, JQ sees it as pushing technology.
Yeah, it's about you got to move forward at some point. If we just hold on to the headphone jack forever. All right, Mike, let me ask you a question. And I don't know, maybe it's only me because I don't buy $300 pairs of headphones.
Neither do I.
Buy headphones, right, Mike? You put the headphones, you got a headphones, right? You know, at the end when you mess with that little cord, your sound don't start rattling after a while.
I know what you're talking about, but no, okay. I've had much older ones. Yes. So
that type of thing to me is terrible. I would much rather not have to deal with that.
Yeah,
or you got your headphones. You got your phone in your pocket or whatever, and you're at the gym, and you got to fish the cord all around your neck.
You're absolutely right. Well, I do prefer wireless.
At some point, you gotta let it go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like your phone gets knocked down because the wire catches on to something. Like if I'm gonna listen to music and I want to hear it that good, I'm not gonna listen to it through my phone. So if my phone doesn't have a headphone jack, it's not gonna be like, oh man, because that's like you listening to music through your phone, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, my battery's dying. I wish my phone battery."
Look, I gotta see. I was gonna say, and I'm seeing Munchie's comment. If you spend a few bucks on a good wired headphones, you hear quality. You hear a quality difference.
Untangling the wire to get at your pocket. So Mike, I don't buy no expensive headphones, but I definitely wouldn't spend $200 on headphones to listen to music through my phone.
Yeah.
So how much you spend on wireless ones? How much you spend on those AirPods or like over $100? Okay, that's a lot of money for junk.
Those are giving me convenience. I'm not trying to listen to hear every high and low and mid and all that through my headphones. If I'm listening to that, I'm going to be home or you know what I mean?
I'm 100% with Will on that. Yeah, I'm 100% with Will on that.
That's like, I don't know. To me, that's crazy. Like people will be like,
he has $100 headphones that he mentions the brand. I think they're the ones he recommend for 5 years now.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not defending Apple, but that's just to me. If I'm listening to music,
you ain't preaching. You're defending Apple.
I really want to hear it. I don't want to listen to it through my phone.
Yeah, I agree with Will 100% on that.
You know what I mean? The phone isn't for that. It does it, but it's not made to listen to music. You're not supposed to just listen to music on your phone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Gary has an interesting point about there will be no remotes.
Yeah, I don't know.
That day happens, my wife will be because she needs her remote.
Like, did you see the OnePlus? Did you see the OnePlus TV remote?
No,
I didn't. It's like an Apple TV remote.
It's the same.
It looks a little bit like it, but it's got a Google
like Apple TV.
But Will, OnePlus has never made any bones about the fact that how much they admire Apple, right?
Yeah, unless you listen to a WAV file, listen to MP3s to this compressed format, so you can make the argument that listening to everything on. Oh, okay, doesn't make a difference. Okay. If you play mobile games, Bluetooth headphones, I don't know. I guess I don't play games like that.
See, I don't play many games. He may be right. I don't know. You may be right.
Probably do. I mean, Bluetooth has its problems, but to me, it's about convenience.
Well, Mike, you've played a lot of PUBG. Is that true?
I don't think Mike uses Bluetooth really. Mike hates it.
I've been wired.
Yeah,
I've been wired for the most part. I mean, I use Bluetooth at work.
Mike, in January, bring your wired headphones.
All right, yeah. Yeah, you got it, buddy. You got it. I'm gonna make sure my cord trips you up, sucker.
Make sure you got an OtterBox.
Well, wait now. Unless we're left out, what's happening in January?
Will and I were talking, and Will's talking about leaving the present gym when his subscription's up.
Okay.
And I've been kicking the idea around someday getting back to the gym.
Oh, so you're going to go to the same gym?
We're going to go and join probably the same gym. I don't know. You guys got Planet Fitness where you're at?
Who, me?
No.
Here, yeah.
Everywhere.
The Planet. Okay, I didn't know how big they were, but they're all over here in South Jersey. So
okay, Will, I got to give you credit. If you two are going to go to the same gym, I'm thinking.
Oh, it's going to be a train wreck. A big train wreck. All right, now I'm throwing headphones at him.
No, Will is going to
untie his shoelaces.
He works out hard. I got to give
George,
him credit.
We gotta get Mike an OtterBox for whatever phone he comes with. So when that cord snatches out his hand, and
well, an OtterBox or a UAG will protect him just as well.
Oh, come on, Rob. I'm not that old-fashioned, man.
Mike, you got a rotary phone?
No,
Mike, you can't. When it tells you to push one, you just gotta wait. Huh? You can't push one.
I find hilarious. I am almost 20 years older than Mike, and they're picking on Mike as the old guy. I love it.
Oh, that's not right. Come on.
Mike gets the automated
man. I don't know. I like wired headphones for their purpose. I don't mind Bluetooth either.
There's a serious comment from Gary.
Gives some perception of options and taking away scares some people. I'm not scared. I just it's just one of those things.
That's crazy.
And
Go ahead.
I just found
Go
the
ahead.
video interesting.
Say it, Mike. I ain't afraid of no ghost. Okay.
Oh man,
See if I can share
Mike,
that. Yo,
Mike, you're gonna be using LG because that's all that's left at this
Well, that's
point.
right. You want your DAC. That's the phone.
that's
baby.
it. That's the phone to have. I'm not telling. I'm kidding. I'm not. Yeah.
No. He still got his
Oh,
one
come.
still
Oh
got
man,
his one.
you guys are getting brutal, man.
Yeah.
I'm calling the operator.
Wow.
He can't push
Wow.
one.
Oh,
He can't push.
it's cold, man.
Oh man.
Mike's just got to wait for the operator to pick up.
All right, wait. Well, here's the test. Mike, do you know who Ernestine, the operator?
Oh man.
Was that the girl from? Wait a minute. Oh, from Blanfin?
Oh, God.
No, she was from no, it wasn't Laughing. It was Saturday
Lily
night.
Tomlin?
Saturday
Wouldn't
night.
Lily
It
Tomlin
was Lily
play-
Tomlin on Saturday Night Live. You know.
Oh, Saturday Night Live?
Yes, yeah.
I
That's
thought it was on Laughing.
no,
Okay.
she started that on Saturday Night Live. But yeah, you just proved you're really old like me. Okay.
Mike still uses 1-800. Oh God.
Oh man.
Rough crowd in here, folks. Rough crowd in here tonight. Let me tell you.
All because of that headphone jack.
And
All
Mike-
because
and
yeah.
Michael West just proves how old he is. He's an old fart too. Okay.
Oh man.
All right. Are we going to move on or what?
Michael,
Let's get out of this here.
All right.
Headphone jack. We can move on now.
All right. The next thing we're going to be discussing. Whose turn is it to read?
I don't. What are we doing next? I'm
I did
lost.
the calendar, Google spam. Did you pick this one, Mike?
I can say that this spam issue happened to me and my mom.
Right.
I've never had that problem.
Yeah, it was. Mom got
Oh man.
in her list saying that she, clicked the link on this day to
All right,
possibly win.
Are you
Win
going
a
to read it?
phone.
You want me? You going to read it? You want me to read it?
Hold on. Where is it? I just had. Okay, I'll read it. I'll read it. Let me
right.
see. I'm just looking through here. Let me get rid of
It's
this.
ready when you are.
Okay.
All right.
How to keep spam from invading your Google Calendar. Block unwanted invitations. And that's just what they are. They're unwanted invitations.
This has happened to both you and your mom, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I got invitations to try and win an iPhone, and my mom got one to try and win a Samsung phone.
And this is all in your Google Calendar.
All on a Google Calendar.
Okay.
And of course, there's some details in there, and there was a link to whatever this event was, and of course, I told Mom don't touch it. So let me read the article.
Okay.
For some time now, Google Calendar users have been vulnerable to a rather nasty type of spam that seems to have gained momentum lately. It works like this. An email containing an invitation to an event is sent by a spammer to your Google Calendar. This can apparently happen to even with the email that ends up in your spam folder. And the calendar automatically puts the appointment on your calendar.
That's scary.
Yes. Even though the body of the appointment contains spam link or some other obvious content.
Obnoxious.
That too. It was obnoxious. See that picture? That picture there. I wonder if it's the same thing.
You're looking up something.
You're a winner. Okay, you're just saying they're a winner for some money. My mom, we both were winners of winning a phone.
Okay.
At minimum, it's annoying. First, you have to go through the trouble of turning down the invite, which often will expose you to objectionable content. And then you will have to cross out the appointment, which can appear as a daily appointment, messing up your carefully organized calendar. A good alternative, which will save you some trouble, is to mark the objectionable appointment as spam, which will both cause it to disappear and flag as a problem. I couldn't figure that part out. I couldn't figure out how to tell it was spam.
Okay.
There is a way to set up your calendar so that the spam doesn't have a chance to get in at all and get rid of any crossed out appointments that you already have. It's a 3-part process, and it was a 3-part process.
Okay.
First, stop Google Calendar from automatically hiding any invitations that you adding any invitations that may be sent to you in your web calendar. Click on the gear icon in the upper right corner of the page and select settings. In the left-hand menu listing, click on the event settings. Look for the settings that read automatic add invitations. Click on the drop-down menu with 3 choices. Choose the one that reads no, only show invitations to which you have responded. Now, here is the thing before I read on.
Okay.
All this stuff that we're clicking off or telling it no and all,
Right.
this is all automatically set up from the day you set up your account.
Right.
If not, it is automatically. If they make a modification, they change. There's always an update to the calendar or update to your Gmail account.
Right.
This stuff is already automatic.
Yeah.
So you don't even know.
Yeah. So you have to specifically go in there if you want to change anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It goes on. It goes on showing you all the settings and all the things you have to change here.
Right.
There's a new one here at the bottom. I'm sorry. I don't want to go through. It's basically all the steps you got to go through. And it's a bit of a process. You got to make, and it helped having this. It gave you an idea of what you're turning off. It kind of like, okay, this makes sense. Right. I wouldn't know what to do. Somebody here did the homework. Now, at the bottom of the article is saying update August 27th at 11:52 a.m. This article has been updated to include suggestions that the offending calendar entries are marked as spam.
Okay.
Now, and that's all. That was, I don't remember seeing that before. But I went to the Google help, I guess, for the calendar. And they're aware that it says they're aware of the situation. Okay. And you can leave comments in there and all in there.
Now this hasn't happened to me. Will, has this happened to you? Hasn't happened to me. Okay.
Yeah, you'll see. It just showed up, and it took for my mom, I think, a whole week. So, it took like Monday to Friday.
So Mike, what is it doing? It's just showing you.
It's adding events to your calendar for one thing.
Events that's right. From where though?
From some spam, right?
Well, yeah.
I'm looking at my calendar here. I don't know.
Will, you and I are probably too pure.
Yeah, I'm never
old-fashioned. Now I'm not pure.
I've never had nothing like pop up on my calendar that I didn't put.
Me too.
Or like, and I've even got like subscriptions to calendars, like that show me all the boxing fights that are coming on. Or
I guess it depends on how they're targeting you, don't you think?
Yeah, I found it odd. Why my mom and then I got it. Now, what worries me is we have our calendars linked.
That's why. That's why, because you're linked.
Okay.
But I don't know if Adam's here. I don't know if Adam can chime in and see if it happened to him. So,
Mike, what was an example of like something that it?
Well, there's a good example in that picture. If George could bring that picture back up,
of course,
of the calendar, and it says notification number 6538. Congratulations.
Right, I got to do the whole thing all over again.
So this is that's weird. I see it now.
Yeah, if you look,
it seems like it's something to do with your email.
Yeah.
Okay, right here. Okay. And that got added to the calendar.
That's what got added to my mom and me.
Okay.
Something like that. Mom was going to win a phone, Samsung phone. I was going to win an iPhone.
Okay.
So Apparently, it somehow it does. Yeah, I know when I make a event, it does send an email along with populating that date. Because Pat and I would always, we're planning something, I would get on the calendar and invite her, or vice versa.
Right.
And it would always like, oh, I got another email. It's it was annoying you. Yeah, somehow.
So what it's doing, Mike, is, and you probably already explained it, but now I'm reading the comments in the thing. What it's doing is when you get an email that's spam, but it looks like an invitation, it adds it to your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, like that's why. And I get a lot of junk email, but I never.
Spam, it'll still do it. Yeah.
I must have disabled that or something because I never.
Yeah, I've never gotten that so far as I know.
But everybody
on my calendar page trying to see
everybody's calendar. If you didn't do what if you really didn't fine tune it,
yeah,
these are the settings that are automatically set.
Sure.
Out of the gate.
I just look back at the comments and they are still making fun of you. This to me is one of the best ones from Gary.
Oh, we got Tana in the room.
And the funny part is, Pat has an Aunt B.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And Mike could call Aunt B. All right.
No, the Aunt B is one we don't talk to. No.
Mike.
Aunt B will have you on the phone for 4 hours.
All right, Mike, you could end up in Mayberry. You know that, right?
Great. Don't you saying automatic ad bad coding from Google? So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I guess you should have to turn it on. I see what it's trying to do, but yeah, if you get spam and it makes it look like, like an appointment or something, it adds it. Yeah.
Everybody's getting the yes, sir, yes, sir.
Well, look at JQ's Joker. Android malware infesting 500,000 users just in time for the movie.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a little concerning because mom wouldn't click the link. She'll be
at least Will and I have something to be watching out for, right, Will?
Now I'm on my list right now and I'm looking for it.
Okay.
And I see the thing that it's talking about. And mine says automatically add, but I've never had any pop up.
Yeah, me too. Calendar. Yeah, and mine would have the default too. That's not me.
But now I turned it off.
Hello.
Is that Aunt B?
There you go. Will. Good one.
Oh man.
All right. Should I move on?
Yeah.
All right. Next thing we're going to talk about is the Axon 10 Pro.
All right, George. I think you should discuss that.
Yeah, it just came out this week.
And
I'm not there yet. Wait, I'm getting there.
And what else about it, George?
It looks like a great phone for $550, and mine arrives on Tuesday.
There we go.
Up until last night, I was able to resist it, but I've been watching Jay Will's videos on it, and Paul Tech, I think, and I couldn't resist anymore. So mine will arrive on Tuesday.
George, highlight Munchie's comment.
Okay. Wait, I need to find it. Oh, wait.
It's not too far. We got to leave that one up there for when Mike comes back.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right. I'm going to take it off because I'm going to start reading. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, well, let me give you, I guess, a tiny bit of history. ZTE was starting to do fairly well in the United States. They're a Chinese company, of course, up until last year when they got into the same type of trouble that Huawei is still in. And so the United States banned them from getting products. They came very close to putting them out of business. But in the end, they worked out a deal. and they had to pay, I think, a $4 or $5 billion fine, and they paid it. And so they made a couple of cheap phones early this year in the United States that were released here anyway. But this week they released the new ZTE Axon 10 Pro. This seems to be the follow-up from 3 years ago of the Axon 7, which was by far their most successful phone, and it's still a great phone, and I still have it. But anyway, this new ZTE Axon 10 Pro debuts in the U.S. market. This was from September 1st, the article. The Pro, which appeared in February at MWC 2019 as ZTE's first 5G handset, is going to the U.S. Be that as it may, rather than having 5G availability, the device will be sold opened as 4G telephone through ZTE, Newegg, B&H Photos online outlets. Germany, this variation of the Axon 10 Pro begins at $549. There is likewise 12 gig of RAM variation, $599, and both of those you can order from ZTE. It may even be available on Amazon. I bought mine straight from the ZTE website. So mine will arrive on Tuesday. Seen as ZTE's rebound telephone, the Axon 10 Pro remembers the organization's tranquil reemergence into the U.S. advertised after a violent 2018, which is what I explained to you. In May 2018, ZTE was found violating 2017 exchange sanctions, and the U.S. government prohibited organizations from exchanging items and administrations to ZTE for a long time. After ZTE surrendered to pay a $1 million fine, however, the boycott was lifted. That's right. First they paid a $400 million, and then they paid that. The difficulty incapacitated ZTE, and progressing exchange vulnerabilities between the U.S. and China kept on dragging ZTE's future noticeable all around. With the Axon 10 Pro, in any case, the ZTE plans to indicate U.S. purchasers that they are yet fit for selling premium telephones at sensible cost, and I think they're right. The telephone includes a 6.47-inch show, I think, display with an in-screen unique mark peruser. It's set up with a Snapdragon 855 chipset, a 4,000 milliamp battery, and drives on Android Pie with an update to Android Q, I guess we mean Android 10, made arrangements for the part of the arrangement. On the back is a triple back camera arrangement that includes an 8-megapixel fax camera, a 48-megapixel standard camera, and a 20-megapixel wide point focal point. On the front is a 20-megapixel shooter. Anyway, the telephone does not have an earphone jack or a water-safe structure. It's $549 beginning cost. Is remarkably more available than other Android telephones with equivalent specs similar to the $669 OnePlus 7 Pro and $799 Pixel 3. And it seems like they're specifically going after the OnePlus 7 Pro. We are excited to carry the Axon 10 Pro to the U.S. showcase the up-and-coming age of the ZTE Axon lead brand and its successor to the Axon 7. Even though that was from 3 years ago, that was by far their most successful in the U.S. Cell phones are getting increasingly costly. It's an all-inclusive pattern, and at ZTE, we stay focused on giving buyers frontline development and the highlights they need most while remaining very moderate. Making the Axon 10 Pro accessible to our U.S. customers conveys on that brand guarantee and duty. And from the videos I've seen, this thing can compete with the OnePlus 7 Pro. And of course, once I get mine, I'll be doing straight up comparisons. Jay Will did a straight up comparison, and it came off very well. So they finally just got to me, and I finally just had to order it. So mine will be arriving on Tuesday. So if you guys,
George, I'm kind of. I guess I'm not shocked you ordered it, but I don't know. I guess you're saying because you want to compare it. It doesn't come with stock Android, does it?
It's almost stock Android. That's you can see that in Jay Wills. It's as close to stock Android as Motophone is, or as a one.
As a OnePlus, yeah.
I'm just looking at the specs. I'm trying to figure out what makes it better than the OnePlus 7.
I didn't say better. Keep in mind, it's $150 cheaper than the OnePlus 7.
Yeah, how much is it? $549.
It like
OnePlus is what, $669, right? If you get
$669,
cheaper.
Yeah. So a little over $100 cheaper. But keep in mind, it comes out, at least from what I've seen in Jay Will's comparison, it comes out being very close to even. Doesn't have a 90 hertz display. I'll give you that.
Is it IP rated?
No.
No IP rating, but it is wireless charging.
The OnePlus 7 doesn't have a IP rating either.
Right. I'm just comparing apples to apples.
Doesn't matter, but yeah,
But no, I'm comparing apples to apples.
Right, George? Dual speakers?
Yeah, but dual not speakers. Like the Axon. Remember, the Axon 7 had dual speakers both facing you. This one has the standard dual speakers, one facing you up top and the bottom speaker.
It has Dolby Atmos.
Has a notch.
Yep.
Has a notch. Yep. I don't know. The screen on the OnePlus 7 and the software, to me, would make me pick that over that ZTE.
Okay, and Jay Will did compare the screens and the software, and he gave the OnePlus 7 the slightest edge. And this one has a 1080p display.
Well, I just mean for the no notch and the,
Yeah, okay, gotcha. And anyway, so you'll see what my coverage of it, and I kind of fell in love with it.
Now, Mike, you had the Axon 7.
Yes.
How much was that when you bought that? I just want to see their price gap.
When the Axon 7 came out, it was $500. I can tell you that.
Was it $500 when it was new?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, but ZTE wasn't very well known when that's the phone that kind of made them known in the US anyway.
I want to say I got it from the ZTE.
Right.
I wonder if I got it on a deal. I've never wanted to pick up the phone on the first day.
Right.
But man, let me tell you, that was a hard sell. That was a hard sell to get rid of.
Yeah, that's a great phone. I have
it. It was really those speakers. And
I remember my Project 13. It took him like a year to make up his mind to finally sell that phone because he loved it so much.
Yeah, between the speakers and just the way it was really a good OS.
Yeah.
Just the way the phone handled itself. So,
and as far as I can tell, the Axon 10 Pro is closer to stock than that ever was.
Mm-hmm. So I just, if I could take a quick second, a huge shout out to T-Mobile. That was them just then calling me.
Oh, okay.
And letting me know that, hey, I wanted to let you know that service is back. Is everything fine on your end?
Okay.
So.
Okay, so good for
them. Mike, did they call you on your T-Mobile phone?
No, actually, no, because they called me on the number I called on.
Okay. Here's Anthony Nitek saying it was $399. So okay.
I didn't think it'd be that much.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that because he had the phone, I had the phone, Jay had the phone. We were all in Vegas together with ZTE right around that same time. So
now, George, was there like a discount for the phone, like to pre-order from the site?
Not that I remember.
No, okay.
Not that I remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a great phone. I'm expecting that the Axon 10 Pro is going to be a great phone, so we'll find out in a few days.
Okay. You have a definite date when it's coming in?
Coming. I'll be getting it on Tuesday.
Gary is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not about to put that up. I see you, Gary.
Gary. Oh,
I was looking on the specs on that phone on the GSM Arena. I was just like, wow, it's got some decent stuff in it. But did you see me convulse when you said it had no headphone jack?
There you go.
Yeah, Mike's like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Notice Will and I weren't the slightest,
That's all right. I'll come in January with the Axon 10.
Will, you know what's going to happen, right? Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen with his wired headphones, and he's going to say, "Do you
Oh
have
yeah, I know.
Bluetooth headphone?" You know.
Yeah,
Here we go.
you
I'll
know.
come in. I here we go. Amazon. They go Axon M. There we go. It's going for how much again? How much is this? $139. There we go.
Oh, the Axon M.
I got the
yeah.
Axon M for 129, I believe, and that's sitting right here. So.
Wow. What don't work with CMDA? Okay. It just caught my eye. Of course, it's one of those pop-up ads on the site I'm looking at. I go, oh, look at that Axon M.
Yeah. So of course, for you guys in the show notes, I included the comparison that Jay Will did with the Axon 10 Pro and the OnePlus 7 Pro, and that was a really good video. And then I also included Android Authority's review on YouTube from June before it was released in the United States, which was a very balanced review, I thought.
Was it? What now? Is this phone out already in other parts of the world?
Yes, it was out. It was out in June, I believe, in China.
Oh, in China only. Okay.
And it might have been in India before us, but it just was released here. Today was the first official day that you could buy the phone. Up until today, it was pre-orders for the United States. So, but I have a strong feeling I'm going to love this phone, but you'll certainly be finding out.
Wow, Nitech says not Axon and he's not getting it.
Yes, I know he's not. I saw that. Yeah. He said he's down with the Pixel Squad. Okay.
Wow.
We can't buy everything that's coming out.
Yeah, he's looking at the Sony, the Moto phone.
Yeah.
Wow, and the Nokia phone.
Yeah. Nokia 7 too has got to be on my radar too, because I have the 6 one and the 7 and the 7 one.
Is that coming to the Nokia one? Is that coming to the States?
What I found with the Nokia phones, if they don't release it, it has all the T-Mobile bands. That's all I care about. It gets 4G here, so that's all I care about. It's like the Moto G7 Plus. They never release, or the Moto Plus. They don't release it in the United States. It has all the bands, so I don't care. And in the case of Moto, the Plus is always the best version.
Oh man.
Let's see. Curious, is it coming? Who's
Nigel,
getting that phone?
What you got on your Twitter, Nigel?
What about his Twitter?
I don't know. I'm about to find out what's Nigel got on his Twitter. Nothing. I'm in the chat, George.
Nigel does most stuff on Instagram.
Is it Instagram, Twitter, something?
Yeah, that's where Nigel opened. All right, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
And all right, who wants to? Will, you want to read about IFA?
Yeah, as soon as I get
all right, IFA started yesterday or today in Berlin.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, it seemed like it started 2 days ago when it's supposed to start today.
Well, they always have announcements the 2 days before, day before, just like they do at MWC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this is on The Verge.
All right. Yep, from The Verge. IFA 2019, the top announcements to expect from Europe's biggest tech show.
And this is from a few days ago, so before it actually started. Now the show has started. Go ahead, Will.
Expect phones, laptops, and an armful of wearables. While Barcelona's Mobile World Congress holds the crown as the biggest mobile show, it's Berlin's IFA that's Europe's biggest tech show overall. However, much like CES, its broad focus can make it hard to predict what we'll see from one year to the next. Some years, the show seems to be just as dominated by phones as MWC, but other years, wearables or TV announcements often emerge to steal the show. This year is no different. While certain companies, we're looking at you, LG, can't resist heavily teasing or outright pre-announcing the products they'll be showing at the conference, others are holding their cards close to their chests. So while we know that the likes of Sony, Huawei, HMD, and Samsung are all holding press conferences at IFA, the only details we have about what they might be prepared to announce come from unofficial leaks. rumors and any educated guesses we can make based on their past IFA announcements. Let me skip that part. Stay tuned to The Verge. All right, phones. Might not be particularly mobile focused, but IFA always tends to play host to a handful of phone launches, and this year looks to be no different. LG appears to be leading the pack this year with mobile announcements, already treading the fine line between teasing a device and straight up announcing it ahead of time. The biggest of these seems to be a new phone or accessory featuring multiple screens, similar to the second screen accessory that the company showed off for the LG V50 ThinQ earlier this year. That's the LG, the LGX.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to like that from the videos I've seen.
It's pretty funny because everybody hated the X on it.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Alongside this new accessory, there are also rumors that LG could announce the LG G8X, its first handset with an in-display fingerprint sensor. Finally, the company has also confirmed that it will have a pair of new mid-range handsets, the K50S and K40S, on display at the show. Honor is also holding a press conference at the event this year. The Huawei sub-brand has been less forthcoming with its teases than LG. But after having released the Honor 9X and Honor 9X Pro in China so recently, there's speculation that the company could announce a Western launch for either one or both of the handsets. For reference, the Honor 8X came to Europe in October last year, around a month after its release in China.
That's true. Yeah, I remember that.
HMD's press conference for its Nokia branded phones will almost certainly see the appearance of at least one new device. Don't expect another flagship like the Nokia 9 PureView announced earlier this year at MWC, but a report from Phone Arena suggests that we could see as many as 3 mid-range devices, namely the Nokia 5.2, 6.2, and 7.2 announced at the show. In terms of phone rumors, this is where the details start to get a little more fuzzy. Sony could well announce a successor to the Xperia 1, a flagship released earlier this year, since it announced the XZ3 as a successor to the XZ2 at last year's show, following the same cadence. TCL is also due to hold a press conference where it's promising to show off its first TCL branded smartphone, as well as deliver an update on the foldable devices it showed off back at MWC. It's getting hard to ignore the rumors swirling around some potential new additions to Motorola's One series of phones. Despite not being expected to launch the latest in its lineup of Mate devices until late September, we'd also be surprised if we didn't get a small mobile update from Huawei, if only to attempt to quell renewed fears about the future of its smartphones. Finally, despite having announced its latest flagship just last month, there's a decent chance that Samsung might steal the show with a Galaxy Fold announcement.
Which they've already done.
Yeah, they have. The South Korean electronics giant has a press conference scheduled for September 5th, and a recent reporter suggested that it might release the device just a day later on September 6th.
And just to make a note, the story I showed earlier was that, and that video that the lady had, that was at that event.
Okay, with Michael Fisher and everybody.
Yeah.
Let me see. It's a pretty optimistic launch date, but after the Galaxy Fold's disastrous original launch, Samsung could use the good PR.
That's for sure.
AV, or I guess Sonos, doesn't have a presence at IFA itself, but in years past, the company has timed its announcements to coincide with the show. Last year, for example, it announced the Sonos Amp, a connected device designed to power your existing passive speakers in the run-up to IFA 2018. This year, there are reports of holding a press event around the time of the show, suggesting the company may have an announcement or two in store. And there have already been a number of leaks about a Bluetooth speaker. Alongside its mobile announcements, Sony also tends to reserve an audio announcement or two for IFA. 2 years ago, it announced its first pair of true wireless buds, the WF-1000X, and last year it updated its over-the-ear lineup with WH-1000X M3. Having released a new pair of true wireless earbuds, the WF-1000X M3, but we don't blame you if you're not keeping up with these product names.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, we didn't think Sony was ready to announce a direct successor. So instead, maybe a sports-focused pair of earbuds like the WF-SP 700N. It announced just a few short months after the WF-1000X could be in the cards.
You're becoming an expert in using WF and numbers.
Yeah, I know. It also wouldn't be IFA without a couple of TV announcements. Although most manufacturers tend to reveal the bulk of their TV lineups each year at CES in January. IFA has played host to a few TV announcements in the past, like last year when Samsung and LG used it to announce their first 8K TVs. With TCL and TP Visions Philips both due to hold press conferences at the show, we'd be surprised if we didn't see at least one new set get announced. Even if there's a small risk, Samsung will just stick to its smart refrigerators. Computers. Most laptop and computer component manufacturers tend to save their biggest announcements for Computex. However, some manufacturers have used past IFA shows to announce new additions to their laptop lineups. Last year, these included Acer, Asus, Dell, and Lenovo, and we wouldn't be surprised if some of them had at least the spec bump in store for their devices this year. Acer is particularly interesting entry on this list because last year it unveiled the ridiculous Predator throw-nose gaming chair and its almost ridiculous 2-in-1 convertible gaming laptop.
I remember that.
Neither of them are the kinds of products we'd actually recommend that anyone buy, but they're the kinds of announcements that make for a great show. Outside of laptop manufacturers, Intel and Qualcomm will also have a presence at the event this year, so expect them to say something about their lineup of chips. Finally, you got wearables. Given the number of announcements and releases we've seen in recent weeks, it's hard to imagine that many wearable manufacturers will have anything big left to reveal at IFA this year. Just last week, Garmin announced its new Fenix GPS sport watches, and Fitbit announced its Versa 2.
Sure.
And earlier in the month, we also saw new smartwatch announcements from Samsung and Fossil. Still, given that Honor announced the Band 5 in China recently, there's a possibility that the company could use IFA 2019 to announce a Western release. Honor's parent company, Huawei, has also just unveiled its new operating system, Harmony OS, which it's indicated could power future wearables. We'd be surprised if it had one of these ready for IFA, however. Finally, wearable notes that Fossil is expected to release a new batch of hybrid smartwatches before the end of the year, and IFA would provide the perfect opportunity for the announcement.
So just wanted to make sure we covered some of what's coming out. Of course, the Galaxy Fold has already been announced, and I think there were other announcements today, but I haven't had a chance to look at them because I worked. Well, we all worked today. So I just wanted to give you folks an idea of what you might be seeing coming from IFA.
And that's still, we've got a few more days, and then it's
Isn't it over or it's still going?
No, it doesn't end until I think it officially started today, and it doesn't end until Wednesday, I believe.
So then the Apple announcement is Tuesday, right?
The what?
Yeah, Apple.
Oh,
Apple's on Tuesday.
yeah, Tuesdays. Apple's always on.
Wow. Well, then so I mean they're still doing their thing to the 12th.
Yeah.
Wow, this going to be busy next few days.
But I think IFA is always still going on when the new iPhones get announced. So I don't think there's anything unusual there.
Wow. Team 100 is going live, huh?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess we should probably get out of here.
Yeah. It's almost 10 anyway. So I just happened to get the notification for Rob's channel. They're on Rob's channel.
Okay, cool.
George, you got a super chat.
Oh, I just got a super chat. Oh. Well, thank you, Will. See that, folks? Will still loves me. Okay.
Oh man.
Well, it's good to see Will in his old form, though. You know what I mean? I tell you, I threw your bell on me, you know. But look, I guess he took a vacation.
Look,
took
Mike,
a vacation, came back.
You're still on your case, Mike. Look, Gary's still on your case.
Yeah. Just for now, I'm gonna go find me an old. Wait, hold on. Wait, let me see. Hold on.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
My super chat from Will. Okay, thank you,
All
Will.
right, there we go.
Yeah.
You're still in
There we
Jersey.
go. All right, there we go. There we go.
There you go, Mike.
All right, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna.
Oh man.
Well, I'm gonna
Mike.
Google Duo on
Mike.
this phone for you. Let me get my
Mike.
SIM card.
Mike, what's your pager code? You guys.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yo.
Oh man.
you want to start doing that kind of stuff here?
What's your,
Take a look at this. Okay.
Wow. Holy
I
smokes.
saved my stuff. Okay. There are more in the drawer.
oh man.
Look! I got expansion in this one.
There you go.
Expansion for an SD card, so I can.
Card.
And wait a minute. And I think that's a headphone jack. Yeah, there we go. Headphone jack right there.
He found the missing headphone jack.
There you
Mike,
go.
bring that in January, Mike.
Okay.
LG for the win.
Mike,
Okay.
bring that in January.
On the Verizon network, okay?
Mike, you're gonna take a selfie with that in January.
Right. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, but Will, if he brings that in January, even if the weights fall on it, it'll still work. Okay.
Mike, and make sure you download some music on it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I still got my Nextel around here somewhere. I still got my Nextel too. So, all right.
Oh, next time was a class.
Listen here.
Okay.
Listen here. Bad news. I'm gonna go to yard sales and look for one of those phones just for you.
Nextel was a classic, Mike. With
Yeah.
the chirp. Oh man.
Yeah.
There's one from Nigel that I don't get. I don't know if anybody else is getting it.
Oh no, he's
that's-
giving me his IG address.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Look at the size of the battery. Let's see. Can I get
There you go.
1100 milliamp battery?
Yep. Cool. So
Wow.
we gave everybody a trip back to the past.
Yeah. Yeah. And rotary phones too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And Aunt B.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we're done for tonight, folks.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
Team 100 coming up. I'm gonna clean up, get another cup of coffee, and check out Team 100.
All right, check out Team 100. Oh, before we go, did anybody else watch the first game of the season last night besides me? Okay,
I was trying to catch up on these stories.
okay. I'm the only real football fan here, obviously.
Well, wait, all I know is, didn't I see? If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Antonio Brown, is he a Oakland Raider?
He's a Raider. Don't remind me.
Oh, okay, I just had to ask. That's all.
I already have a coach who I don't like. You know, I thought I was going to like Brown, but I guess not. Yeah. So we'll see. Although he came out with an apology today because he was about to lose about $30 million and he knew it. So anyway, all right. You guys want to say your good night so we can get out of the way of Team 100?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Good night, everybody.
I'm Mike Dixon, Simply Your Device. Someday I'll be getting back to making videos again.
Oh, Mike, don't even talk about it, Mike. Don't even talk about it.
All right. I gotta go. I gotta go get my rotary phone. I gotta go. All right.
There you go. All right. So, I'm Mobile Giza. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And very soon, I hope to be writing another article on mobilegiza.wordpress.com. It's been about 2 weeks. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Next week, we are on Will, your channel, right?
Yeah, I get all the fun with the Apple event, I guess.
All right. Will gets all the Apple stuff. So
I had it last year, too.
That works out just right. You're the guy who's supposed to have the apple juice.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so next
the apple juice. I'll be getting apple juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to go refill.
Folks, thanks for tuning in and go watch Team 100. Good night.
Yeah. Good night.